Hello everyone. Have you ever been called lazy? Or maybe you felt that way yourself, struggling to find the energy to get things done. Well, today we have a beautiful and inspiring story about a boy who was just like that, lazy but clever, and how he turned that laziness into his greatest strength. By the end of this story, you'll see how even the laziest person can find unstoppable motivation and outwork everyone when the goal is strong enough. So, stay with me till the end and let's dive into the story of Ryan. Once upon a time, in a quiet little village, there lived a boy named Ryan with his parents. They had a small house at the edge of town and spent most of their days working hard in their rice fields. Ryan, however, was incredibly lazy. He would help his father, but only with the simplest tasks, like chasing away the birds that came to eat the crops. Now, most farmers would use sticks or slingshots, running around the fields all day to scare the birds away. But not Ryan. He didn't like to move that much. Instead, he came up with a clever idea. He tied long ropes between tall wooden poles placed around the field. Whenever he pulled the ropes from one spot, the poles would shake and the attached scarecrows would dance, frightening the birds away. This way, Ryan could lie down in the shade and rest while still looking like he was working. His father often worried, thinking, if I ever fall sick, how will Ryan manage everything on his own? But since Ryan's clever tricks always worked, his father never scolded him for it. One summer, a long and harsh drought hit the village. The crops needed constant care, but just then, Ryan's father fell very ill. For the first time in his life, Ryan had to manage the entire field by himself. He tried his best, but he just wasn't used to such backbreaking work. After a few weeks of struggling, the rice plants began to dry out and wither away. Ryan couldn't save them. That night, he sat under the stars, feeling completely defeated. Why didn't I ever try harder? He thought sadly. Now my family's hopes and all their hard work are gone because of me. Just as he was losing all hope, the next morning he heard loud shouting from the village square. A royal soldier was making an announcement. The king was holding a grand competition at the palace, and the winner would receive a chest filled with gold. Instantly, Ryan's eyes lit up. This could save my family, he thought. Without a second of hesitation, he went and signed up for the challenge. When the villagers heard, they started laughing. How can a lazy boy like Ryan possibly beat strong and skilled men from all over the kingdom? They joked, but Ryan paid them no mind. He packed his few belongings and left for the palace. Even his own parents didn't expect him to win, but deep down, they held on to a small hope that this journey might finally change him for the better. After a 3-day journey, the competition began. All the participants gathered beside a large, shimmering lake. A royal guard announced the first challenge. You must cross this lake. The first 3 to reach the other side will advance to the final round. The countdown began. 3, 2, 1, go! As soon as he shouted go, everyone jumped into the water, swimming as fast as they could. But Ryan stayed behind on the shore, watching them. He knew he wasn't a strong swimmer and couldn't compete with them in the water. As he stood there thinking, a brilliant idea struck him. He ran into a nearby forest, quickly gathered some broken branches and logs, and used vines to tie them together, building a small wooden raft. Using a long stick as a paddle, he pushed off into the lake. This isn't a swimming contest, he thought to himself. It's a race to cross the lake. I just need to be smart about it. While the other competitors grew tired from swimming, their arms and legs aching, Ryan calmly paddled his raft across the water. By the time he reached the other side, he had finished in 3rd place, securing his spot in the final round. The next morning, the king himself announced the final task. Each of the 3 finalists was given a giant, heavy wooden block. The challenge was to move it 1 kilometer to the finish line. Beside them lay a pile of tools, but there was a catch: they could only choose one. The first competitor, a mountain of a man, grabbed a thick rope and started pulling the block with all his might. The second, a wiry and quick fellow, chose a long wooden stick to use as a lever. Ryan, however, didn't rush. He looked at the tools carefully and said to himself, I can't win this with muscle. I have to use my brain. After thinking for a moment, he chose a small, sharp knife. The crowd murmured in confusion. What can he possibly do with a little knife? They wondered. But Ryan didn't try to push or pull the block. Instead, he began to carve it. He skillfully chipped away at the wood, shaping the heavy square block into a large round ball. Now, instead of dragging a heavy block, he could simply roll it. Within minutes, Ryan was pushing his wooden ball smoothly along the path. The other contestants struggled, sweating and grunting, their energy draining with every step. But Ryan kept rolling and rolling, effortlessly moving forward until he crossed the finish line first. The crowd erupted in cheers. No one could believe it. The lazy boy from the small village had beaten everyone. The king smiled and said, "You have proved that intelligence and creativity can triumph where brute strength cannot." Ryan bowed humbly. In that moment, he finally understood something profound. Being lazy wasn't his real problem. It was the lack of a powerful purpose. When his family was in desperate need, he found his motivation. When his goal was crystal clear, his mind became his greatest weapon. So, if you ever feel lazy or unmotivated, remember Ryan's story. Find a strong reason, your family, your dreams, or your future, and let that reason push you to give your absolute best. Because when your why becomes bigger than your excuses, you will always find a way to succeed. Even a lazy person can achieve great things when they find the right reason to act. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please hit that like button and subscribe for more inspiring content. We'll see you in the next video.